You're part of a photography community that gives me so much, so it's time to give back to all of you. It's my mission to inspire and pass on my knowledge, passion and skills. You can subscribe using the watermark button on the screen. Ring your bell to make your subscription count. Please stay to the end and comment. It's your feedback that keeps the channel going.
We are here. We are here because we're basically going down to a place called Windy Post Cross. And it's a place which has eluded me photographically for some time, in that I either get there at the wrong time of day or the wrong time of year or the wrong weather conditions or something, and I can never seem to get it together. It's a place that's photographed a lot because there's a nice falls there, there's a cross in the background as well, and you can get some really nice images. But it doesn't really matter what I do in that area, however I look at it. For me, the compositions never really seem to quite come together and work. I think it's just something to do with that location. I may not be able to overcome it. But anyway, I thought I'd walk down there today and see what we could do. We got some fairly sort of wintry conditions still, and it's quite frosty. So with a bit of luck, so let's go down there, have a look and see what we come up with. And I'm just going to finish up my coffee and a packet of crisps, and then I'll join you down there in a minute when we're on location. And I'll talk you through the videos because I've yapped for long enough now already.
We will get to the cross in a minute, but let's just say for now I've always struggled with the composition. It never seems to connect and flow with the other elements. But I like the waterfall from this viewpoint, with the open moorland in the background. I enjoy capturing the texture in the rocks, the warm sunlight on granite, the contrast between the flowing water and hard rock. But I found Vixen Tour off to the left a little distracting and drawing your eye to the edge of the frame. But with a few small changes of position and elevation, I found an alternative.
Well guys, it's been really difficult to vlog. It happens with a lot of landscape positions, a lot of photographs that you take, that it gets really difficult to take pictures when it's quite busy. And this is a really popular spot. We don't get a lot of snow down in the southwest, and when we do get a bit of snow, Dartmoor becomes exceptionally busy. People that wouldn't come here normally for weeks on end, or even during the year at all, suddenly turn up. Anyway, I've taken some pictures already, and quite pleased with those. And I may have already shown you the B-roll footage and those images that I took at the time, and maybe even done a bit of voiceover, but I'm not sure. So this camera setup that I've got here now, it really is, I've put on the long lens. I'm shooting at, not as long as I'd like, so I'm shooting at about 100mm. And the idea behind that is to compress that perspective a little bit. So I've still got this waterfall down in the foreground, but way down in the background, we've got Vixen Tour down on the horizon. Sorry, down below the horizon we've got Vixen Tour, and then we've got what I think is, I'm not sure, I'll have to look it up, but there's another tour on the horizon looking out towards Princetown itself. And the reason that I've done that is that it compresses the perspective, and the sky isn't that particularly interesting in it, so it was more important to try and sort of get a good background in. And obviously when you're using a wide angle lens or a medium sort of focal length, you find that you've got a lot of distance between the foreground and the background, which makes things look a little bit small. So I've managed to compose these with some decent sort of backgrounds in there and cutting out some of the sky and getting that sorted out. So that's why I've done it the way that I have. I've been using a polarizing filter to take the sheen off the top of those waterfalls themselves as well, and I've also put a 6-stop neutral density filter on this, or the Lee little stopper, and that's enabled me to get a just check those settings. It's enabled me to get a shutter speed of in the order of anything from 5 seconds right the way up through to sort of half a second. And I've been bracketing, and that's the reason we've got those different settings. I'll pick the one that's best. Now I've been hoping that we'll get a bit of dark, moody sort of sky come over, and it does appear to be happening that way. So I've got the idea for another photograph that I might take, and I might be able to get back and take some more using the cross as well in a moment, but we're just going to see how that works out. Really depends how the lighting goes and how busy it gets in this area. So I'm going to pack up from this composition now, and I'll show you the final photograph, and with a bit of luck we'll have some more pictures for you to see in a minute.
Although virtually the same as my first photograph, this is my favourite. It's a very personal thing, but for me this photograph has a sense of order and balance. It's easier on the eye. The relationship between the waterfall, the tor and other background elements are in harmony and no longer competing with each other. Considering this was supposed to be just a recce for a shoot on another day when the lighting's a bit better, this has actually worked out quite well today. Despite it being very, very busy, I am managing to get a few clear shots. A little bit self-conscious because a group of people just stopped and started watching me do my videoing. But basically, it's come over quite a bit cloudy. It's enabled me to get back to shoot this cross, where actually before, when the light was so bright and the sheen on top of the water was so much that I couldn't really control it or do anything about it. But it's come up in a situation now where we've got a reasonably decent lighting in the background and some dark heavy clouds as well, which is adding to the atmosphere of the photograph. So I've set the camera up on the tripod with the Lee filter system on there, and I'm using the polarizing filter just to take the sheen off the top of the water again, so that we lose some of those highlights which would otherwise sort of kill the effect of the photograph. What it's also enabling me to do is actually slow it down a little bit. Now I did have a Lee 6-stop filter on there as well, but that was actually proving to be a little bit too much, killing too much to the light off, and the shutter speeds were getting towards 20-25 seconds, which was really killing the atmosphere a bit. What I've managed to do now is I've changed that out, and I've put a 0.9 stop, which is 0.9 neutral density, which is about a 3-stop filter, and that's just giving me the right sort of shutter speed that I want. So I'm retaining some detail in this water, but it's also creating enough atmosphere as well. So it's actually coming over quite well. As you can see, it suddenly got quite busy again, so I'm going to stay around and shoot a little bit more, take some more pictures, see what happens with this sky. I see there's some Dartmoor ponies walking into the scene now, which might just sort of add that extra little bit of interest in the image, but we'll just have to see how that works out. I've been trying to take a photograph from here for so long. Although this is probably the closest yet, it's still not setting my world on fire. Some of the elements don't feel balanced. The waterfall cut off at the bottom, the bush cut in half, all feel awkward. But on location, moving left, right, up, down, I kept coming back to this composition, feeling the best. But I don't want to be overly negative, as I love the overall dark feel, the brooding heavy rain clouds and the warm lighting cast by the sun. I hope you're enjoying the video. Maybe you would like to carry on, so try these suggestions next. I want to share more knowledge, more skills, more passion and stories about photography with you. So think about subscribing. If you do, ring the bell.
It will make your subscription count. If you have time, comment. I will see you on the next video. Get out there and enjoy your photography.